Assalamu alaikum, everybody, and welcome to the third podcast of Mignation with Wajeeh. Today we have Maimoona Khan, who is a recruiter and has worked with some of the biggest companies in the world. We're going to be talking about today is how to be a perfect candidate. What challenges are you facing currently in the job market? So, without further ado, let's start. Assalamu alaikum, Maimoona, first of all. Tell me, how did you start recruiting? What was the inspiration behind it? And basically, how did you get into this field?
So with recruiting, I think it mainly came from where myself, I've come out of out of education. I've come out of school, been to college, been to sixth form, and then went to university myself. But what I feel was lacking from all those educational facilities is, yes, they prep you and you become qualified in a certain subject, but they don't prepare you for real life work, and they don't
Yeah.
prepare you for real life. And so that's always sort of been in the back of my mind, thinking, well, and it was very big struggle for me because no one taught me how to write a CV. No one taught me how to come across in an interview. No one told me how to apply for a role, and what is the best role out there. What is it that you should be doing, or what is it that you'd like to be doing, and to follow sort of. There was no like job search strategy of,
Yeah.
okay, well, if you want to become something in data, then this is the sort of steps you need to follow, and so forth. So that is when I really started looking more into it, and I realized, well, actually, recruiting, coaching, and training are all very complementary. So again, you can go through, so that I've always sort of had that experience myself, and then I went into a training role with a in employment. So and I've been doing that for a few years, and I feel like again that was sort of complementary because what we were doing is we were helping with people who were new to the brand and helping them with the onboarding. And again, I saw that there was a big difference, a big challenge between, these people are coming through, yep, their CVs are looking great, yep, they've done okay in their interview, they've got the job, but they're not ready for real life work. They don't know how to
Yeah.
be in a professional setting, they don't know what's expected of them, they don't know how to what necessary steps do you take to progress onto the next level. If you pass the recruitment stage, so if you are with a recruiter or a hiring manager, you sort of need to be coached into, well, this is
Exactly.
how you
Yeah.
come across, this is how you need to display yourself in that interview process, because in the interview it's like a driving test. Driving test is based on 30 minutes of your driving ability. Same with an interview, it is literally a 30 minutes representation of how you will be in a professional work setting. But who shows you, who teaches you how to be in that setting? You can have somebody with the best CV, somebody who's got all the skills, qualifications, but will crumble in an interview setting.
It's funny you should say that because I find a lot of professions, even though they have reached the pinnacle of their careers, they don't exactly know how to perform in interviews, how to come across as a candidate. So it's really interesting that you would point these things out. Would
Yeah.
you elaborate a bit more on that?
Yeah, of course. So recently, I have been working with international students and work professionals, and again, I've had to have conversations with them where they're saying, I've got everything, I've done all my education, I've got the necessary qualifications, but I'm not finding a job. So can
Yeah.
you please help me? So I look into it. Yeah, they're right. From a young age with their education, they've been getting all the right grades. Yes, perfect. They've got a BA, they've got an MA in Pakistan or India,
Yeah.
and then they come to UK, which again is a big shift, big change. But they've managed to do that. They've managed to prepare themselves for that, and then they become qualified here. So they end up having masters in a field here as well. And then they say they absolutely crumble under the interview
Yeah.
setting, and you say to them, have you not realized how much confidence you've got, how much determination you've got, how much ambition you've got, that you moved from one country to another to be successful? You wanted to change things for yourself, and you can't sit in front of an interview setting in front of three people
Yeah.
and sort of tell them why you should be the best candidate.
How would you see the entire UK job market right now? What's your main takeaway?
So the UK job market for at the moment is very unstable. It's very at the moment it's a quiet time of the year,
Yeah.
so no one's going to be hiring. If they are, it's probably because they're trying to see if they can fill the position, so they've left it open. But at the moment, it is going to be quite quiet. Hopefully, once we come out of January, February, and it will start increasing. But In terms of the job market, we've got a lot of tax hikes. So national insurance has gone up, the wages, the government policies have changed. So, it's getting a lot stricter on businesses. And the first thing businesses are going to do is to protect themselves, is stop hiring new
Exactly,
people.
they're going to do that. Yeah.
They're also going to stop paying existing staff, which again is going to be I've been told there are stories of, people being overworked. So where there is a vacancy in a team of 5 people, they've stopped the 5th person and they've told all the rest of the 4 people, you now need to do the work of the 5th person. But we're not paying you any more money. We're not giving you bonus. We're not giving you overtime. We want it all done in that, stage. So at the moment, that's what companies and employees are facing at the moment. So it is very difficult, but but what that means is it becomes more difficult for people who are from the graduate job market, because unfortunately they think of, again, it's that, extra of, okay, they're on a sponsorship, they can only work so many hours, we've got to file all that paperwork. I think I read somewhere, works out to be 55p per hour.
Yeah, exactly.
And it doesn't really, when you start thinking of it like that, but companies will say, no, we don't want to entertain sponsorships or anything like that. We just want to protect what we're doing right now. So I would say the job market is quite unstable at the moment. It is quite difficult, but please, be persistent, be positive, keep trying. There are job markets again, it depends on what industry you're in as well, because there are stuff like, data and AI. If you're in that sector, that's quite booming at the moment. So you've got fintech, financial technology, educational technology, and bio and technology. So if you're in any of those are sort of booming at the moment. And again, then you've got renewable energy, sorry. So if you're also looking for a job in that sector, it's quite good news for you guys, because at the moment they're sort of putting a lot of investment into, understanding what data and AI can do for us now, which is great. But everybody else kind of is it's a bit of a stalemate. So I'd probably just say, just be a bit persistent. But there are things that you can do to make sure, because it's very competitive, just to make sure that you set above the rest.
Yeah. So on that note, I actually have a couple of questions. The first one being that you talked about that 55p one. So one of the things that I'm doing, and I have a huge problem at my hand, is that we've talked about this as well. Everybody comes on Instagram or any other form of social media and they talk about absolute malarkey, right? The first thing is, who would you sort of recommend for international students to follow, if anybody? Would it be more towards, you would say, let's not follow somebody, let's do more research about it? And secondly, we have already discussed that the UK job market is considering it's quite going into a downturn at the moment. So, what would an international candidate need to do to stand out against, let's just say, somebody who's a UK national?
So again, it's not just your skill set and your qualifications, it's how you are as a person. So it is you have to be an all-rounder. So you have to be, very qualified, very experienced in your role, but also simultaneously you have to be someone you want to work, that is a great person to work with. So in the UK workplace, we spend about 40 to 45 hours, possibly more, with our colleagues. We spend more time with them than we do with our own family.
Absolutely.
So you want to make sure that the team you're working with, the company you're working with, is enjoyable, because you're spending most of your adult working life as well. Pension age is in your 70s. So so you want to make sure you're enjoying, but also think of it as, if there is a situation where you're not enjoying working, you're working with someone who's a bit awkward, who doesn't have very good people skills, doesn't really get on with everybody quite well, or is a bit tucked away, quite isolated, quite introverted, would you enjoy spending 40 hours with them? Probably not. And then also, what would it be? How would you feel if you found out that actually you're the person that everybody feels like that around? So it's almost like you need to show them that, look, I'm not just, very, like I said, very qualified, very experienced in my field. I'm also, a great person to work with. I've got really good soft skills, very good communication skills. I'm very good. I'm a good person to have a laugh with. I'm okay to meet people outside in a social setting. I'm a good team player. If you need me, I'm there for you. And if I need you, I'm hoping you'll be there for me too. So it's all about trying to be the all-rounder as well. In terms of when there are so many people to look up for, because I know we're both in that field, I would first say to a UK international student is, look for a coach, because a coach will share with you the foundations of how to transition yourself into a UK work professional. So not it will show you how to be, stop being a Pakistani professional,
Exactly.
but
Yeah.
into the UK work. So they'll show you how do you adjust yourself to UK culture. How do you write a good CV? How do you come across quite well in an interview? How do you, what personality traits can you show? How can you, work on your soft skills? How can you try and develop a personality that your company that you're applying for can see that you're a good fit for them? But once you've done that, so once you've gone with a coach and you're sort of job ready to start looking for a job, I would, then start looking for a mentor in the field that you're in.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't go for a mentor straight away, because a mentor's not going to sit there with you and tell you how to write a CV. They're far too busy. They're doing stuff. And again, it's a difference between a mentor and a coach. Mentor is where you want to be in 10 to 20 years' time. So, I would say first look for the coach, utilize the coach, help them get you job ready for the UK, and then go into mentoring, which is, okay, I want to be where you are in 10, 20 years' time. Can you tell me how to get there?
Exactly. So because I've seen the same thing. Most mentors, and through no fault of their own, I'm sort of in the same phase right now, where there's so many people coming to me for advice, for general life tips and stuff like that. It's not humanly possible for me to sort of guide everybody. So that coaching, that one-on-one sessions that is going to provide you with the time, the necessary input, and the knowledge is absolutely vital for you to succeed in the UK.
Yeah.
That's what I believe. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And like I said, you can have all the skills and experience, but doesn't necessarily mean
You're
you're
not
going to get that
qualified.
job.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's what the coach can help you, is to help you really transition into the UK and adopt a personality where you are, you settle in quite well and you can fit in quite well with the company that you want to apply for.
Absolutely. So, one final question. We already talked about the fact that it's a mixture of skill and your personality, because in my case as well, I transitioned into a tech career because I didn't have that hard skills previously. I got in, I would like to say because of my personality. I hope it's because of my personality, but I got in somehow, and then I learned the skill on the job. So, ideally, in an ideal world, what would you advise people who are coming into the UK, who don't have that job experience, who are fresh into the market, who do not necessarily have the tech skills to get into a tech career? What would be sort of the culminating point for them to get into a career that is fruitful for them?
I think you're absolutely right. Some stuff can be trained on the job.
Exactly.
But again, it's about convincing the employer that you're ready for them. You're the right candidate for them, and that you're willing to, and that they should invest in you. So you're the right person for them to invest in. I would say technical skills count for about 80%, and 20% is yourself. Only in terms of when it comes to sectors, obviously, like when it's medicine or
Yeah.
something like that, then yeah, you don't want to go to a
You,
doctor who's not
yeah,
qualified.
you mind my language. You wouldn't want a shit doctor with a good personality, would you? Yeah.
Well, yeah, but exactly. But so you've got really niche fields where yes, you need to be technically qualified, and there is no one's going to say, oh, it's okay, you don't have a medical degree, I'll show you how to do it on the job. Yeah, they're not going to do that. So again, there are some sectors that aren't part of this scenario, but with in terms of especially being with tech and with how it's booming at the moment and how it's on trend and how everybody's investing in AI and so forth, and like I said, there's different fields
Yeah.
of biotech, fintech, and educational tech, ed tech. It all counts down to, well, because the like I said, the market's changing and there's new trends and you've got new softwares doing new things, and apparently ChatGPT is the oldest thing and on the market now.
Yeah.
There's something
It's
else
deep
which is
seek
quite
now. Deep
is
seek. Yeah.
deep sea now, and exactly. So, but with those kind of when the market is ever changing, you can't quickly write a degree. So employers don't expect you to go and get a degree qualified in that subject. But what you can do is go for the micro credential courses, which is go online and start taking courses with LinkedIn, start taking courses on Udemy, start taking courses on Kajabi, start taking courses on, there's so many platforms out there, like I said, educational technology, which is online digital platforms for learning, so go, they expect you to go online and do these courses, and as long as you've got some sort of credential, you've got a nice
Yeah.
little certificate, great, put that on your CV, because it shows that you learnt the foundation at university, data science or
Yeah.
so forth, but you're ready to carry on and stay up with the trends, and that you're ready to sort of, stay up with the trends by doing all these smaller courses. And it shows that you're really good, because you want to do continuous learning, you want to keep improving yourself.
Very quickly, one last question. So I've heard conflicting advices regarding the fact that whether you should do certifications. There's a sort of section of the public that says certifications are useless. I am in the sort of branch that says that certifications are really important. Do that if you don't have prior experience. What would you say about that?
It all depends on the industry that you're
Yeah,
going for, and maybe the company that you want to apply for. Like I said, if it's something in the medicine background, they're not going to accept a course in
exactly.
Udemy.
Yeah,
But again, if it's data, AI, there is no degree out there for how to use all this, because it's going to take quite a while. But courses are much quicker for them to develop and turn around. So start taking those courses, start building, because it's also, like I said, a reflection on yourself as a person. I'm always wanting to learn. I'm always wanting to upskill, refine my skills. I'm always doing courses. Don't fill your CV up with every single course that you've done, or do a course and then do another one, and take a break, but do it strategically. All these courses, and it just shows, again, like I said, it depends on the sector that you're in. Sometimes they do accept you taking these courses. In terms of experience, you know try and work for a company on a freelance basis or volunteering basis, or try and work with like a local charity, or they're always asking for people to help them, because it will show that you've got experience working in a UK company.
absolutely. Yeah. All right. Thank you so much, Maimoona, for
No
your time.
worries.
It was lovely talking to you. I
Same
hope a
here.
lot of people can take some important takeaways from this podcast. And for everybody else watching at home, stay tuned for more podcasts just like this. If you want to reach out to Maimoona and put her socials and her packages, of that is mentoring packages, coaching packages, in the description below. Also, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you want more information about how to break into the UK job market. Thank you so much for your time. Take care, and Allah Hafiz.